That's another reason why I've stopped making videos for a while. The competition, I don't have fancy movie lights, and I'm not shelling out $560 for an Insta360 camera, and I just can't compete with these guys. So if you like my content, that's wonderful. But you get what you get. Anyway. Hey boys and girls, how's everybody doing? Q here. Hey, it's been a long time since I've made a video, and that's because things have changed around here. So for the longest time, this channel has been about me buying and selling different motorcycles, trading motorcycles in, researching motorcycles, trying to find, the right motorcycle for me. And gosh, I must have had 15 different motorcycles in the last few years, trading them in, buying, selling, researching, trading, selling, buying. And I finally got to 3 motorcycles, which, for my humble garage here and wallet is, I think, the best I can do. So what I'm talking about, of course, is these 3 guys right here. Harley-Davidson Road King 2021. This is the full touring chassis. Should I be chewing gum while I'm making this video? So Harley-Davidson Road King 2021. This is the full touring platform, so it's the big boy Harley, but without the big fairing, without the street glide or road glide fairing. And those fairings work. You want weather protection, they work, and they're comfortable and beautiful and all that. I never liked having that big fairing in front of me with all the gauges and everything blocking my view of the road. Plus, I happen to think that this chrome headlight here, I just think it's one of the most beautiful things in motorcycling. As you probably know, when you buy the Road King, this windshield pops right off. You never take the saddlebags off, but this windshield pops right off. This is a reduced height windshield I bought from Cycle Shields or whatever. I'll put it on the screen. And then these wind deflectors, I love these cheap wind deflectors. In almost every case, these inexpensive wind deflectors from Amazon, they make different sizes, are better than whatever windshield you have, because you can have the height of this windshield right where you want it, which I've discovered is right about at nose or mouth level. So I don't know if you can see that, but what you want on a bike, I've learned, is you want to just be looking over the top of that windshield. Plus so first of all, with these adjustable deflectors, you can get the height right where you want it, really dial it in. You can also flip them, forward so that the wind is sucked up here and goes right over your head. I love these things. I recommend them in almost every single situation. So with this Harley now, I've got the windshield exactly where I want it, and this thing has the Milwaukee 8 engine, which I love. It's the 107. It's not the big ones. It's not the 114, the 117. It's the first one, the 107 Milwaukee 8. And what a difference between this engine and that 103 twin cam I had on my 2012 Street Glide. That 103 twin cam, that thing, you had to operate that between 2,000 and 3,000 RPM. Less than 2,000 RPM, it'd be lugging. Over 3,000 RPM, it'd be shaking your bones. This thing will pull like from 1,600 RPM, and when you get to 3,000 RPM, it says, hey buddy, let's just keep on going. And it's just smooth power, and it just goes right up through the rev range. And it's just this sort of liquidy, torque That's the kind of stuff I love. I'm in love with this Harley Davidson Road King. I can't imagine selling it. Now, I've said about many other bikes I can't imagine selling them or trade them in, and I did. So nothing is permanent, but man, it's tough to beat this guy. So next up I have the Royal Enfield Himalayan 450. And I don't know if you noticed, I just changed the lighting. That's another reason why I've stopped making videos for a while. The competition, you know, I don't have fancy movie lights, and I'm not shelling out $560 for an Insta360 camera, and you know, I just can't compete with these guys. So if you like my content, that's wonderful. But you know, you get what you get. Anyway, this Royal Enfield 450 Himalayan, love it, love it, love it. Good power, tractable. I don't even know if I made videos about it, but I had the Ducati Multistrada V4S adventure bike, you know, which was like twice as big as this, 3 times the horsepower, and it was just too much bike. I mean, it was just, you know, first of all, the V4S put out a ton of heat, and I live in the southern United States here in South Carolina, so it's all this heat. It had long service intervals, but when you do need service, it's very expensive. And big, tall thing. And I was afraid to take it on the dirt, frankly, because I knew I couldn't pick it up. And also, it's so expensive. You know, if you drop something like that, it's crazy. It's, you know, it's $20,000 motorcycle. I bought it used for less than that, but, you know, it's a $20,000+ motorcycle, I believe. Whereas this, out the door, with taxes, fees, license, everything, was $7,000. This is a 2025. And this weighs, I don't know what it weighs, around 400 pounds. I'll put it on the screen. And man, a dirt road, I'm blasting down dirt roads on this thing, and I'm loving it, and I don't have to worry about it. The Ducati, you know, all this fancy stuff, it was wonderful, but it's too much. It's too much tech, it's too much money, it's too much weight, too much heat. It's like, you know, this is what I want. The old Himalayan 411, I would never buy that because it only had 20 horsepower, and you've got to be able to do 75 miles an hour here on the highway to get to a lot of the good riding, and that thing would be, you know, gasping going 60 or 70. This thing, much happier. Love the bike. Now I put, this is a Puig windscreen on it, made a big difference. And once again, I got the little wind deflector, so I can adjust that so my eyes go right over the top of that, and I can adjust the wind flow. Very, very happy with this bike. And so, by the way, I've got a Nelson Rig tank bag on this bike, and also the Nelson Rig tail bag. Love this. I've had this Nelson Rig tail bag for a long time. It's just beautiful. Holds a ton of stuff. Wonderful construction. Nelson Rig tank bag. Love it. Magnetic. They just make quality stuff. And if you're wondering what this blue is here, this is a gel pad, and you can buy these raw gel pads off of Amazon for like $30. And I just put that under the seat, under this Alaska leathers. This is real sheepskin. These Alaska leathers, sheepskins, they're not cheap. They're like $95, but they keep you, they literally do, like, you know, it's like I sound like a commercial, but they keep you cool in the summer, keep you warm in the winter, no swamp ass, you know, they're just great. So this stock seat was a little buzzy, put the gel pad in there. I got to trim it up, make it look better, but it's just such a simple solution. If you've got vibrations coming through your seat, add a gel pad, cut it down, works beautifully. So in terms of an adventure bike, I mean, I love this thing. You know, would I like maybe a KTM 690 or a Touareg 660? Maybe, I don't know. You know, again, more money, more weight, a little more highway power. But I just, you know, this thing does the job. It's affordable. It's a single cylinder, 40 horsepower. It just works beautifully. I love it. And then we have this little guy. This, of course, is the venerable Suzuki SV650, which I believe they've been making since 1999. This is a 2024, so this is basically a 25th anniversary of the Suzuki SV650. Now they stopped making it for a little bit, and they introduced this horror show called The Gladius that nobody liked. It looked, I don't know what the politically correct word for it was. Let's just say it looked feminine, and nobody liked it. So they went back to making the SV650 by popular demand. So this is my sport bike. This is my standard / sport bike. This thing has 75 horsepower, not 90, not 110, not 150 horsepower, 75 horsepower. Now, this replaced my Royal Enfield Interceptor 650, and I loved my Royal Enfield Interceptor 650, but it was kind of heavy. Had about 45, 47 horsepower, but, you know, not really stellar power delivery. It kind of got a little gaspy at the top. It was old school technology. Even though it was a new design, it was old school technology, air-cooled, parallel twin. And also the suspension. The suspension was just, again, it was old-fashioned, and it was just kind of rudimentary. And I'd get out on some of these country roads where we have, you know, these ripples from all this construction equipment riding around. Don't get me started on the dump trucks driving around down here in South Carolina. But it was just uncomfortable, bumpy. This has just a standard stock suspension. It's not even, you know, there isn't even a name brand. It's not even upside down. It's a conventional front fork, but it's just much better. It's just modern technology. Single shock in the back. And 75 horsepower, mwah, perfect, perfect. This bike goes as fast as I want to go. And that is the key. How fast do you really want to go on two wheels? I do most of my riding in these back roads, and it's beautiful around here. I go up north, if you think of North Myrtle Beach, and basically you go north and you cut into southern North Carolina, if that makes any sense. And in about 15 minutes, I'm out on these two-lane country roads, farmland and woods, and it's just beautiful out there, no traffic. And speed limits are 55. And those of you in England may, you know, be surprised or may not know this, but in America, whatever the speed limit is, you can go 10 miles an hour faster than that without getting a speeding ticket. So if it's a 35, you can do 44. If the speed limit is 45, you can go 54. If the speed limit is 55, you can go 64 and go right by a cop and you won't get a ticket. So I'm out there going 60, 64, 65 miles an hour on this bike, and it's so fast, I can't believe it's legal. It's like I'm thinking this should be illegal because it's so much fun. So if I'm going to keep making these videos, and I do like making them, I love motorcycling. I get on a motorcycle. I'm an old man, by the way. I'm going to be 70 in a few months. And I get on a bike, and my aches and pains disappear, and my worry stops. I think the part of your brain that worries and has anxiety and obsesses over things, that part of your brain is busy operating the motorcycle. And what's left of your brain is just the wonder part, you know, and it's just, God, it's just food for my soul to be on a motorcycle. And I'm saddened when I hear that motorcycling is down in this country, that fewer young people are riding motorcycles. And honestly, you guys don't know what you're missing. And I hope, for your sake, that motorcycling doesn't die off in this country or anywhere, because it's just magic. It's totally different from being in a car. You know, I can drive a car fast, but when you're pushing a car, first of all, you're going way too fast. To push a car on the road, you got to be going way over the speed limit. That's number one. Number two, you start to lose that car, you start to lose the rear wheels or the front wheels. You've got all this mass, the mass of this car suddenly broken free. And man, it's a handful. And also the consequences of a crash are much more serious. Maybe not to you because you're in that cage, but you know, what you're going to hit or who you're going to kill or what you're going to destroy could be very, very serious indeed. Much less likely that you'll do that kind of damage on a motorcycle. So I can't do in a car what I can do on these bikes. The other difference between cars and motorcycles is the ratio of mass to gyroscopic force. And people don't talk about gyroscopic force, but that's the force when these wheels are spinning. When any wheel is spinning, it's changing direction. This is a little bit of physics for you here. And that constant acceleration, which is going in a different direction, gives a stability to a spinning wheel. I don't know if you've ever played with a gyroscope. They're fascinating. It gives a stability to these machines. And the gyroscopic effect, as compared to the mass of the bike, is much higher than the gyroscopic effect of four wheels on a car to the car's mass. What this means in a weird way is these things are much more stable than cars. I mean, four wheels versus two. Yeah, four wheels, four flat contact patches, and the wide stance. Absolutely. Maybe, you know, cars are more stable. I don't know. But I have so much more control over what this does. My mass, as a ratio of the bike's mass, is much higher. You know, I'm much more a factor than I am sitting in a car. It all boils down to, I feel so much more comfortable and in control and at peace and also exhilaration and fun in a motorcycle than I ever am in a car. So that's where I kind of am right now. I am at where I am. I've got these three bikes. Oh, by the way, I went to look at the new Harley-Davidson Nightster, the 975. Loved it, loved it. What a fun bike. What a beautiful engine, beautiful sound. I was shocked by how good they sound, both sitting there idling and going down the road. Really fun bike. But the dealership, they said they were giving me a deal. They offered me, it was a ridiculously bad deal. So I walked away from that. So, you know, there's other bikes. There's other bikes I could buy. I might, who knows what's going to happen. But these three, the Road King for cruising and also for going on trips, the Royal Enfield Himalayan for exploring, and when the pavement stops and it turns to dirt, I just keep going and have even more fun. And then the Suzuki SV650, how do you beat that? That's my fast bike, this is my go anywhere bike, and this is my go in comfort bike. You know, my channel is probably going to be less about the next bike I buy and much more about what I do with these three to upgrade them and to take them on trips and so forth. So it's good to be back. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you got something out of all this rambling. And bye for now.